and Spill. We are your hosts. I'm Anna.
And I'm Nikki.
And this is our weekly show where we invite you all to sit down with us, sip on a cocktail, and spill a little bit about life, pop culture, dating, all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in once again. Nikki and I just spent the whole afternoon together. We went and saw the Wicked movie. And, I mean, we'll get into it a little bit more later in our pop culture segment, but overall, I thought it was fantastic.
It was amazing.
It was long. Great. It was long.
But I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yes. Really, really spectacular show. But we'll get more into it a little bit later in the episode. In the meantime, Nikki, how's the rest of your weekend been? Fill me in on what's been going on.
I have a story for you.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I went out last night with the girlies, and I was feeling myself. Like, I was like, you know what? Like, there's a new Nikki. There's a new aura, energy. And they say when you're not looking, like, you know, I wasn't really looking around. I was just, like, with the girls. It was good. We went to this local bar around here. There was a band that I love to see. It's like a 90s band. They play all your favorite songs,
Ooh.
by the way.
So I'd love them.
So we go out and we go grab some cocktails. So my friend had the first round. I said, all right, I'll get the second round. So I get the second round. There's 3 of us. I pay, I open the check, and this bartender only charged me for 1 drink. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Deal.
Like, was this a mistake? Are you flirting with me? So I text my friends and I'm like, oh my God, like, he charged me for 1 drink. Like, how much tip do I leave? So, leave a good tip, put that in there, give it back. And now I'm like sweating, waiting for them. They ran to the bathroom, like waiting for them to get back. They come back, we're still like the 3 of us are just talking, catching up. And he comes over to us and he's like, hey girls, like, we're bored back here. We want to make you girls a shot.
Oh,
Yes.
love that.
Yes. So my go-to shot is always white tea.
Yeah.
Like green tea, it's got the Jameson in it. It like turns my stomach. I can't even smell it. So I like white tea. You got a lot of the juice in there. It's quick, easy.
I love
shot.
a white tea shot.
Yeah, it's very light. So we get white tea shots. They do shots with us. We're talking to them, introducing, names are being introduced,
Good.
occupations are being thrown out there.
Good.
I mean, now there's 2 bartenders. Gorgeous, you know, good looking dudes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then one of my friends, this is how small the town is, texted her friend that works at that same bar and was like, hey, we're hanging out with
So-and-so.
so-and-so. So-and-so is married. So-and-so is married.
Oh my God.
Okay? And I'm just like, all right, so the first one, so-and-so won. The one who gave me the check only charged me for 1 drink.
Okay.
He was cute. He wasn't like anything like, you know, spectacular.
Nothing to brag about.
Right. So-and-so too was hot. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen him at this bar before. He was hot. So I'm like, all right, so-and-so too is in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to so-and-so too. And I'm like, you know what? That we can't now. Like, we don't know. So-and-so one wasn't wearing a ring.
Right.
The ring was not there. So maybe he puts it in his pocket when he bartends. I have no idea. So I'm saying to so-and-so too, like, hey, like, are you guys single? Like, who's single here?
Right.
So-and-so one runs in the back.
Oh, dear.
Vanishes. The
He
so-and-so
said,
two
bye.
tells me it's complicated.
Oh, no, not the it's complicated.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means I am in a relationship and I can't tell you about it because if I do, it's going to get complicated. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, they're still buying us drink, like giving us drinks. So whatever, like the vibes are still high. They tell us that they're going to meet us at the second bar. Cause like you always go to one bar and then you go to another bar that's like in the same area. So everybody knows this. So you know you're going to the second bar after. So they're like, oh, don't forget about us. Like, we won't forget about you.
Yeah.
We go to the second bar and the married one stayed behind. He went back to his wife. He was tired, quote unquote, from his friend. But yeah, I mean, I want to say men don't surprise me anymore.
No, not at all.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? I mean, like, I don't want to say they were trying to make money off of us, because like they didn't, like we said we were bartenders after they were giving us the free drinks, so they knew they were getting tipped really well.
Right.
But like, what was that? What was the purpose? What was the intention?
I think the intention when it comes to things like this and men like this is, let's see how far we can get before we get into trouble.
And they get off on this shit.
Exactly.
They get off on this shit. So maybe he wanted to see like, oh, let me take my ring off. Like, do I still got it?
Right.
Sir, you don't got it.
No.
Because you know what? I'm always one step. Actually, 10 steps. Excuse me. 10 steps ahead.
That's right.
And I tell my mom everything. I was telling my mom, and she was like, you know what? Back then, we didn't have technology. It wasn't, and I looked up Instagram. That's how I saw there's wedding pictures. Both men, they have their Instagrams open.
God.
Both men have the girls in their profile pictures in that little tiny circle. So there were definitely accusations of cheating in the past. That's the only reason why you would have you and your significant other in that little tiny circle.
Sure. As a man, yes.
Right?
Yeah. No, 1,000%. Women do that all the time, and that's like no one bats an eye at it.
Yeah.
But when a guy does that,
yeah. So we're sitting at the second bar, and we didn't hang out with them like the whole time, or the one person. And we like kind of moved away from that crew, and I was just opening up Instagram and looking at all these pictures, and I was just like, look at this, caught. So yeah, like back then there wasn't technology that you can just search people up, I mean, and see all of this.
No. Back then it was probably a lot easier to get away with shit like this, and guarantee you a lot of men did get away with shit like this back then. But we are in a totally different age where if these guys aren't careful, you're gonna find
this town is very small.
Sure,
this town is very
That's the other
very
part
small.
Of it is,
I'm very new, so like I feel like they were like, oh, fresh meat, like oh, we never seen you here before. I'm like, yeah, like just moved here, but yeah, I mean, it's word could get around really fast.
Yeah, that's the other part of it, is that when you are in a small town, don't underestimate that everyone's going to know each other. Everyone's going to know each other's business, and it's all going to come back to somebody at the end of the day.
You know, on Facebook, like people have like it's complicated as like a relationship status.
Yeah, remember when we used to do that in like the 5th grade to make people believe we were in relationships when we were just sad and home alone?
But like I've never heard anybody say like out loud, like if you ask somebody their relationship status, like it's complicated.
Yeah, no, that's because that's not a thing.
It's not a thing. You're either in or you're out.
Exactly.
Shit or get off the motherfucking pot.
Exactly. And again, if you're saying it's complicated, it's because you have somebody at home who you don't want the person you're flirting with to know about. And that's what makes it complicated.
Yeah.
So
I was on a high. I was like, oh, this is great. And then all of a sudden I'm like, they're both taken.
yeah.
So, but you know what? This is for the plot.
Yeah.
There's somebody greater out there waiting for me.
1,000%.
We're gonna laugh. We're gonna laugh.
Exactly. You're better off knowing in that moment.
Can't fool me.
No. And absolutely no one could. But you're better off knowing in that moment what the situation is, what's going on, before you get yourself involved in some messy shit that you don't want to be involved in.
Yep. So take it from me. Find out the facts. Fact check everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Get a fucking private investigator if you have to. Do it. Because you're going to save yourself a lot of fucking heartache and headaches in the long run.
We don't need that.
Absolutely not. That's not what we're here for.
Oh, Anna. Let's talk about this cocktail.
Yeah, Nikki, show us.
This was a fun cocktail to me.
This beautiful green concoction you made us is.
So this episode is all about martinis and memories. This is, we're talking about all of our favorite, as the weather is getting colder, we're going to reminisce on our favorite girls' trips that we have taken. And being that we got back from the Wicked movie. we need to make a green cocktail. So we
Yes.
have our pistachio martini. Beautiful color. Look at that. It is vodka. So you want to take 2 ounces of vodka, 3 ounces of your pistachio liqueur, 1.5 ounces of white chocolate liqueur. Godiva is the best one. And then if you like it a little bit more creamy, you could add some Irish cream into that. And it's beautiful.
Yum.
So
Well,
let's
let's cheers to that. I'm excited to try this one. I
Yes.
love
Cheers.
pistachio.
It's wicked green.
Oh man, that is
Tastes like ice cream.
good. It literally, I was just gonna say, it tastes like pistachio ice cream. Wow,
Love it.
That is great. Well, thank you for mixing that up for us, Nikki. With that, why don't we get into today's topic of the week? You teased it a little bit, but we're chatting about our favorite girls' trips. Like you said, the weather's getting colder. So we are thinking back to warmer, sunnier times with our favorite people. And Nikki, you and I have been on a good amount of girls' trips together.
I love girls'
in
trips.
our 20s.
The excitement is unmatched for
yeah.
girls' trips.
No, I agree. There's something
The
about
preparation,
the
like
preparation. It can get hectic those few days leading up to a girls' trip where you got to get your nails done,
Oh,
your
yeah.
eyebrows done, you got to pack, you got to make sure you have all your outfits, your shoes, everything that you need for the trip. Those days can be stressful, but it's that anticipation of knowing that when you get on that plane or you get in the car, wherever you're going, you're going to be with your friends, you've got fun things planned, you're going to be somewhere beautiful, sunny, warm, all that good stuff. It's just the best feeling.
Yeah.
There's really like a adrenaline rush to it all if you think about it.
My number one spot, girls' trip, is Vegas.
Yeah.
It has my heart.
It has mine too. You
No
really
matter how
can't beat
many
it.
times we go, it's just like new again.
It is. It's really one of those things you have to experience with your friends.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. And every time just it does get better than the next. And you again have to be with that group of people that matches your energy, that's gonna go out, it's gonna be up all night, gonna go to all the bars, all the clubs, all the shows, everything you want to do, they'll do it with you. And I gotta say, we've been grateful and lucky enough to have that experience with our good friends that we've gone to Vegas with multiple times now.
Yes.
Always
Our
a
first
good time.
time was 2019.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're going to do this every year.
Yep.
Then COVID.
And then COVID hit.
So we did not get to do it every year. But 2019, we kicked off our Vegas trip, and it was so much fun. And last week, we spoke about Jake Paul. So we have a little story to tell about
We
Mr.
didn't
Jake Paul.
get into this last week, but I'm glad we saved it for this week. So why don't you start us off on this story?
I mean, I think this was just another marketing tactic of Jake Paul and Tana.
Yeah, Tana Mongeau.
There we go. So they were getting married, and they were getting married in Vegas, and we happened to be there the same time of this wedding.
Literally the day of.
Day of the wedding. We sneak into their after party, the reception.
Yep.
I just feel like in Vegas, anything is possible.
Oh yeah. You can.
You could do anything you want.
Yeah. You can end up in any situation you want, really, and this is proof that we did, in fact, end up in a situation we wanted to be in.
Yeah. So we were at this club. It was called Chaos.
Yes. No longer there. Rest in peace, Chaos.
Yes. R.I.P.
Great club.
It was. I loved it. Especially the man with his junk hanging out. The big
That was
statue.
great. That was.
We loved it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find a picture and put it up.
Yeah, we'll put the
here
picture
for
up.
the YouTube episode so the
I
folks
wonder what
can
they
see.
do with the statue. Where is it?
I know, right? They had
Where
to
is
have. I don't know, taken it down or they left it. I mean, I think the hotel is still there. Just the club that went away. So I don't know. But regardless.
So we're there. And all of a sudden I turned my face, and I was a huge fan of the Ace family. The family
Prime
that is
YouTube.
no longer together.
Period.
Yeah. So Austin McBroom, Catherine, loved them. They were just like really, really cute, wholesome family. They started from nothing and just worked their way up. They're millionaires. So yeah, YouTube celebrity. I turn my face and there he is. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, Austin, as if he's going to turn around and actually like acknowledge my existence. But no. So there's his security around him. They go up the stairs and I'm like, there's security at the bottom of these stairs. Like there. And I'm like, we're going to get in. We are going to get in.
One thing about Nikki, when she's determined to do something, it's going to happen.
Watch me. So the security, there's two of them. They're guarding the stairs leading up to this reception. And all of a sudden, there's these two men going up the stairs. We lock eyes, me and my girlfriend. They say, are you girls coming up? I said, yeah, we are. And we went up. And somehow we managed to get Anna and our other girlfriend up the stairs. So now there's four of us up there partying with all these YouTubers. Jake was there. Jake Paul shook his hand. Logan Paul was there, shook his hand as well. I said hi to Austin McBroom, even though he was surrounded by security. I guess he had his own security team with him. And I was like, hey, like, I love your YouTube channel. Like, you guys are the best. He's like, where are you from? Detroit? Nobody's ever said that to me before.
Not Detroit.
I am not from Detroit. I said I'm from New York. But yeah, I mean, that was fun. And then Dead Mouse.
Oh my God. Dead Mouse was playing that night and we saw him. I don't think you saw him, but me and our friend who I was with during that night.
Somehow both we split up into two.
Very briefly. And yes, while they were trying to get into the after party, myself and our other friend somehow managed to catch Dead Mouse without his
mask off.
And I gotta say, he's good looking.
So high.
He's good looking.
And he was swimming in that pool. So there was like upstairs, there were these private pools that like overlooked the whole club. Like this place I loved it. I will never forget this place.
Really good nightclub, really good. Night swim area too. Yes. If you've ever been to Vegas, you know that the pool parties are 10 times better than the actual clubs, but the night swim is just as fun. It's just a party. Who doesn't like to go night swimming anyway?
Right.
And like this is with some of the biggest, best DJs in the world.
And like I said, there's no rules in Vegas. No. Like, if anybody's playing, you can literally go up to the DJ booth. Remember, Shaq was playing?
Oh my God,
Encore Beach Club. Love that. Mm-hmm. Bury me at Encore. So Shaq was playing DJ Diesel. Yep. And I didn't know he was a DJ. I'm like, oh, like, I thought Shaq was, like, promoting this big party. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is he going to do? Just, like, stand around and promote? No. Motherfucker is a fucking DJ. Awesome DJ. And I'm like, let's get to the front. So we all latch arms and we're making our way to the front. All of a sudden, he goes, okay, everybody, mosh. And we were in this mosh pit.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was fun. I think 20 years from now, when we retell these stories, or maybe we re-listen to this episode, we're going to think to ourselves, what the fuck were we doing in these Vegas clubs? But it was really the time of our life.
It was. Love Vegas.
Love Vegas. I mean, we just got back from there over the summer, too. We just went on our third trip to Vegas, literally right before Labor Day weekend. We somehow managed to squeeze it right in before the summer ended, and it did not disappoint. No. I mean, the DJs were insane. The clubs were insane. It was kind of insane of us to go so last minute, but...
Yes, I was not ready.
No. But when it comes to Vegas, you kind of just drop everything and go.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's where you're going to have the best of times. And yeah, I mean, this Jake Paul memory is one that we'll probably never forget. It's just crazy how you can be in the same room as somebody who has so much like celebrity and so much fame, and they do these wacky, crazy PR stunts, and somehow you find yourself in the middle of it without intending to. And that's just the beauty of going on a girls trip, is that you just don't know where you'll ever end up on something like this.
Super fun.
Super fun.
Next up, another favorite spot, Nashville.
Nashville. I have to say, Nashville comes... It's really a very close tie sometimes between Nashville and Vegas. Like, Vegas is definitely the supreme, ultimate girls trip spot. But there's something about Nashville where everyone is just in a good mood, dancing to some country music.
Food is amazing.
Food is amazing.
Food does not disappoint.
Southern food, you can't get enough of it.
Yep.
You know, if you're a country fan, this is the place for you to be.
Even if you're not, it's still the
Yeah,
place. I'll never forget the first time we went and we were walking up to Broadway and we were like feet away and you just hear the music.
Yeah.
Like it had to be like...
It's an all-day party in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Vegas in that regard. But Nashville, I feel like, really is the kind of place where you can wake up, get yourself a decent breakfast, fill yourself up, and then you can spend the rest of the day drinking.
Yes.
And we have our favorite bars definitely to hit up in Nashville. I think one of our top favorites is Kid Rock's Honky Tonk.
Very fun.
Very popular bar. There's always a insanely good band on the stage covering some country songs. The vibes are there. The drinks are there. It's always just a big party. And that's the other great thing about Nashville is that you feel like you're seeing a country concert every single night that you're there. Like you don't have to see...
The talent is insane.
The talent is insane. I mean, there's all of these singers that could be country music stars in their own regard. And getting to see them for, I mean, practically nothing. You really don't pay a cover in Nashville or anything like that. Maybe you spend a few bucks at the bar getting a drink, but you're essentially seeing these people for free. And it's legit. Like the vibes are there. Top spot.
They do, there was that band that was at Kid Rock's that was like haunting everybody for tips.
Yes.
Which is like, it gets a little annoying, but like, you know,
understand people got to make a living and, you know.
So make sure that you bring tip money to the bars. If you're not paying a cover, they expect you to tip.
Throw them $5, $10.
Request a song.
Yeah. It probably makes them happy.
Right.
And, you know, if it keeps them playing all night, why not? Throw them a few bucks.
Sun Diner.
Sun Diner. Speaking of a good breakfast to fill yourself up for the day.
Chicken and waffles.
Oh my God.
Got every morning.
What a place. And I feel like it's one of those hole in the wall places.
I'm sorry. Dolly's just taking a shit right in front of us. So I'm
man.
Just, can't. We have Dolly Parton with us today.
Yep. She's just rocking and rolling over there on her own. But
Good girl, doll.
You never know what you're going to get on Sip and Spill.
Yeah. Good job. She wants a treat, but we can't stop the show. We must go on, Dolly. I will get you a treat when we're done.
Sorry, doll.
So yeah, Sun Diner. I got my chicken and waffles every morning. It was the best.
So good. And that really is like a hole in the wall place, I feel like. I mean, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure people know it.
Right.
But I feel like when we first came upon it,
you
were
could
like,
blink and you'll miss it. It's right next to Johnny Cash Museum.
Yes, exactly.
That was really nice. I didn't know anything about Johnny Cash, and we spent a pretty good chunk of our day at that museum. It was
great.
Nice. Like,
I gotta say that's the other nice thing about Nashville, maybe compared to Vegas, is yes, you can go and you can party all day, but if you want to take a break from that and you want to go to the Country Music Hall of Fame.
That was super nice.
Or you want to go to the Johnny Cash Museum, or you want to go see the Grand Ole Opry. Like, it truly is a really good touristy place where you can do those things and still, you know, have fun, learn something for sure. I mean, the Country Music Hall of Fame is insane. There's so many artifacts and just stars on display in that place. That
I loved. They had Luke Combs, his like how he wrote out like the lyrics to, which song was it? One of his popular songs.
Beautiful Crazy?
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Really cool display. Big Luke Combs fans here, so that was cool to see. It's one of those spots where you can do so much if you're wanting to take a break from the drinking, if you're not a big drinker at all, if you're just going to see the sights, you can definitely spend a good few days in Nashville. But if you're like us and you want to drink and you want to have fun, the other thing you definitely have to do in Nashville is hit up a good pedal tavern.
Oh, that's so fun.
Or a honky tonk bus, you know, something where you are going to be on the move while still sipping on a beer, a cocktail, whatever it is that you brought with you. We've had such good times on the pedal tavern alone, and it's just, again, sitting there and riding down Broadway and singing and drinking and laughing, and I mean, usually the pedal tavern driver, I don't know what you're going to call it, but the guy who's leading the show is usually a funny, energetic personality as well. So it just kind of makes the whole vibe a good time.
The vibes are always high.
And before you know it, you're off of that and back on Broadway and back to going to your next bar.
Oh, I want to go back.
Yeah.
We have to. We have to. We went twice in 1 year. That's how much we loved it.
We loved it so much. I mean, even I'll say another good spot we love to hit up is Jason Aldean's country bar.
Because it's got the DJ. I love me a DJ.
It's got the DJ and it's got multiple floors that you can hang out on, which is nice. Usually the first floor is like kind of more your restaurant, bar scene. They have a band sometimes, big, beautiful stage with a live band, which is always fun. But then going up top to the rooftop area where the DJ is and the music is pumping and there's another big stage that you can get on and dance on. And one thing about me and Nikki is we love a stage.
We need a stage.
We're not performers. I wouldn't say that. But we love to get up on a stage and dance and just, I mean, be away from the rest of the crowd if we can.
Yes. Remember, I was twerking in Jason Aldean's bar. They were playing some rap. Like I said, like you don't have to be a country fan to enjoy Nashville. Like there's all kinds of music there. And I'm just like drinking, twerking, and all of a sudden I'm like feeling something, like they keep dropping on me. I'm like, what is this? Dollar bills.
Oh yeah.
We cashed out that night.
We did. We did. We've gotten dollar bills thrown at us in Vegas too.
Yes,
There's something about us that attracts money.
No, actually that was 20s.
That was 20s.
Vegas was 20s. And I literally thought this man like accidentally dropped it. I'm like, you dropped your money. He's like, no, that's for you. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take it.
We're not going to turn down free money.
No, not in Vegas.
Not anywhere.
Put that shit on black.
Put that shit on black. We're not that big of gamblers. We like a little roulette, but the electronic roulette specifically. I like a little blackjack every once in a while, but a good slot machine always does it for me. Gives me my fill.
Yeah.
Until I, lose a few.
Don't go to the ATM in Vegas like I did.
No. Don't give yourself that access.
Don't. Because
that's where you're gonna end up in trouble. I like to bring a set amount of cash, and then once it's gone, it's gone. I can't give up any more than that. We're balling on a budget here. Vegas can be expensive as is to go on vacation too.
Let's talk about the weather.
Let's talk about the weather because
that we experience at these places.
Another fun thing about me and Nikki is that somehow we bring the rain with us everywhere.
And snow.
And I think one day we're going to bring a freaking twister with us at this rate. So if if you've ever been to Nashville or anywhere in the South,
or if you know Vegas weather.
Or Vegas, it's hot. It's usually hot. It's usually dry. It doesn't rain too often. It's not freezing temperatures too often. Somehow.
This was our second trip to Nashville?
Second trip to Nashville. It's the beginning of March. So like freezing in New Jersey, sure. But we were going down to Nashville thinking, oh, it's going to be like summer. We're going to be able to wear such cute outfits and not have to bring a jacket or anything like that. We couldn't have been more wrong. Somehow we get to Nashville and it was literally freezing. When I tell you, I think I did bring a winter jacket just to get to the airport from New Jersey on this trip. But thank God I did, because I probably wore it so much on this trip. And like between those and denim jacket, just any kind of jacket we had, we were clinging onto for dear life because it was freezing in Nashville.
And it snowed one night.
It did snow one night. And again, we when we go to Nashville, we really don't Uber too much. We usually stay close enough to Broadway that we can walk. Oh my God.
And we barely wear clothes.
Again,
booty shorts, Daisy Dukes.
But that's the vibe. You want to be dressed for the vibe.
Yeah.
But going from even the hotel to Broadway, which is usually like a 10-minute walk, oh my God, you would think we were walking through the tundra, how cold it was. We were even in an Uber one day on that trip, and we were asking the guy because we figured he's a local. He knows what the situation is. And we said, is it like, it's so cold in here. Does it usually get this cold this time of year? And he said, oh, no, this is really unusual for us. We usually don't get this kind of weather. It's usually beautiful this time of year. And that's when Nikki and I knew we were cursed and we were bringing the rain with us wherever we went. Let's go back to Vegas. Our second Vegas trip, which was
Bachelorette,
our friend's bachelorette. It was 2022. And again, Vegas is a very dry climate. It's in the middle of the desert, so you don't expect it to rain. Somehow, we're on this trip, and it's downpouring.
the casinos were flooding. It was on the news.
The casinos were flooding. The airport was flooding. Everything was flooding. It was like puddles and puddles of water anywhere you drove to. Our Uber drivers, again, were shocked at this because this never happens in Vegas. We're in the middle of the desert. It was because Nikki and I were there.
Yep. They say, Anna and Nikki coming.
So's the rain.
Yep.
Oh my God. That was a trip.
But we still made memories.
We made the best of it. We made memories. We had fun.
Nothing stops us.
Didn't stop us from going out. Didn't stop us from enjoying ourselves, celebrating our friend. Sometimes on these girls' trips, you got to just roll with the punches. I mean, we've been to Florida a number of times and it's rained. We went to West Palm maybe a couple years ago and downpoured most of the week. Literally to the point where we maybe got 1.5 days by the pool. And
they had better weather in Jersey.
It was
beach weather.
We were so bored. We went to the gym in the hotel.
Yes, I remember that.
Now,
and I always bring sneakers on vacation, never I'm a size 11 shoe. It takes up a lot of space. Do I ever exercise when I go away on vacation? Never. Never. No. I bring the sneakers. I don't do the exercise.
Right. It's kind of, I feel like, a requirement when you're traveling to bring the gym clothes, but leave them in the suitcase. They never come out of the suitcase. You don't even look at them half the time.
No.
You come home and you're unpacking and you forget that you brought the gym clothes. Like, that's how it should be. You shouldn't be pulling them out and wearing them and going downstairs to the hotel gym.
Out of
boredom, because you should be out there having fun and enjoying the nice weather and the beach and the pool and all that good stuff. But here we were in West Palm, Florida. Literally had nothing else to do besides go to the gym. So we went to the gym.
Yep.
I think that's really the first time I've ever used a hotel gym in my life.
Same.
Which is crazy. Crazy. But to my point, Nikki and I, we just bring the bad weather everywhere we go. There's nothing we can do. We've tried, maybe if we try a rain dance, but like the opposite of a rain dance. Like
rain twerk? Sun twerk?
It's a sun twerk. Maybe if we try the sun twerk the next time we go on vacation, we'll have better luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had some good memories, and I'm sure other folks have. But I think sometimes girls' trips might get a little dicey in certain situations. I have to say,
never
experienced anything like that. But there are people who've experienced some trouble on girls' trips. So Nikki, why don't you tell us a little story about that?
So we are on Am I the Asshole on Reddit. Somebody wrote in.
Yeah, we're going to share a story. It's not, we don't know these people.
No.
This is just on Reddit. We found it and we figured we'd share it.
So this is a series where people just write in asking if they're an asshole.
Yeah, it's really and it's any topic really. It could be about anything. We just happened to find one about a girls' trip and we figured, let's read it on the pod. Let's share our thoughts. And then you guys can tell us in the comments what you think, if you would do anything differently in this situation. But Nikki, I'll let you read it and
all right,
get the chat started.
Am I the asshole for turning around and going home on my way to the airport for a girls' trip? I, 23 female, was supposed to go on a girls' weekend trip to Spain with my longtime friend of almost 10 years, 24 female, and her other female friend, 28 female, who I was excited to meet. We all live in Germany, but her and her friend live about 3.5 hours away from me, and I live closer to Frankfurt. They decided that they wanted to drive through the night about 10 hours and arrive in the morning. And I said that if I can meet them in their town, I can drive with them. Instead, I elected to just fly over and meet them there since I live close to an airport. The day before the trip, she texted me a link to book some tickets to a museum that her and her friend booked. She told me to book for 2 p.m., which is when they booked for. When I clicked the link, the only time slot available was 8:35 a.m. I pretty much was like, whatever, I will do something else while they're doing that. The night before the trip, I texted her asking how much I owed for the accommodations and whatever else that they were splitting. This is the second time I've asked her since her friend was the one doing the bookings, and I just assumed I would send them my share when they told me how much it cost. She didn't answer, but I just assumed she was sleeping to prepare for the long drive. The morning of my flight, 3 hours before my flight leaves, she tells me that I had to book my own hotel room because they're having a guy friend come with them that they invited last minute. She sent me a link so I can book at the same hotel for them for that night, but all the rooms were fully booked. I searched around the area too, and all the rooms were booked or very expensive. I really wanted to go, so I kind of let it go and prepared myself to spend some extra money for a hotel room and stay in a different hotel. But on the way to the airport, I had a gut feeling that I wasn't going to enjoy myself. So I turned around and I went home and sent her a text saying that I was going to sit this one out because I was expecting a girls' trip. She's being short with me now and thinks I'm being unreasonable. Am I the asshole? There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Yes, all of our girls' trips have been 10 out of 10. Amazing. But I'll start with this. I do want to say that gut feelings are huge. You always have to follow your gut. And first off, if they really cared about her, like how many times do you book things and then everybody just splits and you send whoever Venmo, you Venmo request the money. They could have all booked this together. But like I said, gut feelings are huge. So circa maybe this was a COVID relationship that I had. This was 2020 and I was obsessed with Siesta Key. And I saw that they stayed at this hotel that had a rooftop pool. I was super excited. With my boyfriend at the time, COVID relationship, I was like, we need to go. So I book it. There was this female. This was in October. And I remember we went to this drive-in movie. It was such a nice day. Like, I was just like, this is such a good time. I had a great day. We're driving home from Brooklyn. It's midnight. This girl's calling his phone. I said, answer it. He said, no. I said, why won't you answer it? He said, I don't want to. That was old Nikki. New Nikki would have picked up the motherfucking phone. Okay? So I'm just like, you know what? I'm quiet. Like, obviously, I want him to know that there's something wrong. He's telling me, like, oh, it's just this girl. Like, she was just telling me that she saw my friends out at a bar. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Like, you better not make me look stupid. Okay? I thought this was a lesson learned for him. Like, block the number. Do not text or call this girl
smart.
again.
Right.
Because, like, he had girlfriends. This was not, like, one of his girlfriends. So, no, this girl should not be calling you at midnight.
Right.
Fast forward, we're going to Siesta Key. We're in the airport. Lo and behold, this girl had huge tits. I called her Tits McGee. Tits McGee texts him while we're in the motherfucking airport. And did you ever see the meme Beyonce and Jay-Z? That was me. My fucking eyes are I'm trying to see what this girl's saying. And I was like, I called you. Yeah. I'm like, what do I do?
I remember this day vividly.
Because I was getting this gut feeling leading up to the trip, and then we're in the airport, and she fucking texted him. What do I do? So I said, why is she texting you? I was disappointed. I didn't talk to him the entire flight. We land, we get to the hotel, he goes into the shower. I've never looked at anybody's phone before. This man's code, mind you, was 6 digits long. Who who needs a 6-digit
Right.
passcode? 4 digits is enough.
True. Agreed.
So I remember because like back then when he was being sneaky, I like saw him type his code and I put it in my notes app. He goes in the shower. I get his phone. I pull my phone out, get the notes app, unlock the fucking phone. And this bitch is sending him pictures of her in a costume. He's asking, what are you being for Halloween? Absolutely inappropriate.
No.
Inappropriate. How fucking dare you? Mind you, this girl was what? Maybe 2-3 years younger than me. Me and him had an 8-year age gap.
Right.
Honey, you're not getting younger than me.
No. Absolutely not. And he wasn't getting better than you to begin with.
Yep.
The only path forward would be a huge downgrade.
That's right.
But that's a different story
That's right.
for a different day.
So this fuck comes out of the shower and I said, you fucking texted her. I was looking at all the messages. They were keeping in contact. I told you once.
Right.
Once was enough.
Right.
You almost lost your relationship. Once was enough. So now we have a whole 7-day trip ahead of us. What the fuck am I going to do? So I was so uneasy the entire trip. This was something I was looking forward to. But, you know, I just kept calling my friends. I was calling my mom. Like, they were talking me off the ledge. I was trying so hard not to focus on this bitch. Now, it's the last night. Finally, I'm like, I can't wait to go home. The day of our last day, we go to the beach. And that's the thing about COVID relationships, I'm going to say, and I think I'm not the only one. Like, alcohol was heavily involved.
Sure. We were all drinking every other day during COVID.
And then I realized that I needed alcohol to be with this man.
Right.
So we get Tito's, we put it in a water bottle, and we needed chaser. So he gets a water bottle, fills it up with orange juice. We go to the beach, we're drinking, we get back to the hotel. There was a full bottle with OJ in it. I go to open the bottle, and somehow this bottle exploded in my face. My left eye, I still get chills.
I still cringe when you tell me this story.
In my left eye, and I saw black. Nothing. I'm freaking out. I panicked. I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth. And I was like, call my mom. Like, I didn't even like trust him to like comfort me. I'm like, call my mom. So she's like, take your contact out. Maybe there's like orange juice behind your contact. The cap literally hit my eye. My eyelid was swollen. And she's like, go to the hospital. I am hell fucking no. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm going to sleep this one off. Like, I will be fine. She begged me to go to the hospital. We go to the hospital. Turns out the doctors are standing in front of me. Like, they've never seen this before. They're asking what happened, how many fingers. I saw nothing. Black. They do a sonogram of my eye. Literally put jelly on my eye. Sonogram. And they said I'm hemorrhaging behind my eye. I'm panicking, and like in my mind, I'm just thinking about all the things that like I wouldn't be able to do anymore. I would not be able to go to the gym. I would not be able to drive. Like, this was like life altering, and I was just praying to God that it would come back. And I kept asking the doctors, like, is it going to come back? Is it going to come back? And they're like, we can't tell you that. Like, we don't know. So they told me our flight was the next morning. I could not get on a plane because of the pressure of the airplane. So we did have to rent a car that my parents paid for, because this man
didn't shell out his wallet.
Ever.
Ridiculous.
So my parents paid for a car. He drove like an animal all the way home. And even the pressure from the car, like my head was fucking killing me. Yeah. But we did have to extend our trip, and I had to stay in the hotel room for a few days. I slept majority of my time there. We get back. It's Halloween. I have an eye patch. I'm literally a fucking pirate. I have an eye patch on my eye laying in bed. This motherfucker leaves me in my bed with an eye patch on Halloween to go drinking with his friends.
Ridiculous. Insanity. What? I don't know a man that actually does something like that.
To a bar that this girl hangs out in. And let me tell you, the girl that they cheat on you with is never the girl that they end up with.
Exactly. The home wrecker never becomes the wife.
Never.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yep. So after many prayers, many trips to the doctors, optometrists, I got my eyesight back. I was on eye drops 3 times a day, 3 different eye drops, and I came back stronger.
Absolutely. And thank God for that, because I don't know what I would have done in a situation like that, but very glad that you got through that. You were fine. Came out healthy, stronger, better than ever.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
So that's my take on this. What about you, Anna?
I agree wholeheartedly. I think that if you physically feel that something is not right, your body is always going to tell you what to trust and what maybe is not meant for you. And so you have to learn to just listen to that and to trust your gut, like you said, and to, do what feels right in the moment so that you don't end up in situations like that. Obviously we can't look back on these things and regret anything. I think at the end of the day, you had to go through that for a reason. Again, it made you stronger at the end of the day. But I think that in the moment when you feel like something is not right and it's something you shouldn't do, trust it, get yourself out of that situation. I think this girl in this case did the right thing by following her gut and turning the other way and going home, because it already sounds like maybe she would have been left out of a few things on this trip with her friends. So
sounds like she was already being excluded from the jump. I think they were trying to hint to her, like, find your own way.
Yeah.
In many cases.
Yeah, definitely. So I think she did the right thing.
You are not the asshole.
You are not the asshole. But tell us your thoughts in the comments on this story. Let us know maybe what you would have done in this situation. We will drop the link to the thread in our YouTube description so you can read through it yourself, and share your thoughts. Well, thank you for sharing that story, Nikki. We appreciate it. I know it's again a really personal story and hard to relive,
of course,
but we appreciate it. On that note, why don't we turn to our pop culture segment of the week and get into what we've been really looking forward to talking about this whole episode, and that is the Wicked movie. So, as Nikki and I said earlier, we went and saw the Wicked movie today, and we sat through all 2 hours and 40 minutes of it. And
I enjoyed every minute. It was
couldn't
amazing.
Get enough. We could not get enough. I think if they had made it 6 hours, I would have sat through it and enjoyed it. Wicked is just, it's a story that really has stood the test of time over these 20 plus years that it's been on Broadway, and now we've got it on the big screen. And I told Nikki this at the beginning of the movie, that I was gonna cry at some point, and by the end of the movie I was literally in tears. By the time Defying Gravity ended, I was getting the tissues out and I was done. And I think it just goes to show that this is a story that is really relatable to everybody. There's a character in there that everybody can relate to. There's so many different personalities and stories within the show. And so I think, Elphaba, for one, is just a relatable character for a lot of people, because you find yourself a lot of times in life trying to be accepted for who you are, fit in, even when it seems like the world is against you, try and squeeze yourself into what others want you to be. And by the end of the show, she really comes into her own, and she realizes that she doesn't have to fit what people want her to be. She can be herself. She can make her own choices. She can do what she feels is right. And I think seeing that is always just so emotional for me, because it's like, I think as an empath, I really more so feel for her than maybe relate to her, you know. But I think it's just feeling that sense of pride for her that she was able to do that really chokes me up and really gets me crying at the end of the show.
Always gives me chills.
It's just such a good
song.
whole
soundtrack. So I remember after seeing the play, my mom bought me the soundtrack, and I used to play it in my room on the boombox. I would stand on top of my bed and scream Defying Gravity. Beautiful soundtrack. So
good.
I haven't heard those songs in a very long time, so it was great.
I, on the other hand, listen to this soundtrack probably too often than I should. But again, it's just something that I can't get enough of. I just, you know, I didn't see Wicked until very later on in life. I was in college when I saw it, and you know, at the time when I saw it, I was with a former boyfriend who didn't want to go see the show. Somehow I managed to get him to buy me tickets to see the show. And this motherfucker coughed the whole time.
No.
He coughed the whole show. From the minute it started till the minute it ended. He's sitting next to me coughing. And I was so excited to see this play. I'd watched a bootleg copy on YouTube a couple times because I just became so enthralled with the soundtrack, and I wanted to see the show and all of that. And I was so excited to actually see it in person on Broadway and hear all of those songs that I had just spent hours and hours and hours listening to. And this man coughed the entire time and really ruined the experience for me.
I didn't cough once today.
She did not.
No.
She did not.
There was a lot of munching. We had a lot of snacks.
We did. We had some Wicked themed snack boxes.
Yes, that was very cute.
I curated for us some pink and green snacks. You got to fit the theme whenever you go see a big movie like this. But yeah, so all that to say is I was very excited when I heard that Wicked was going to be coming to the big screen. It's been in the works for a long time. Over 10 years, they've been talking about making this movie. And so when it finally came here, I could not wait to see it. I had very good expectations for it going in. I didn't want to say high expectations because I just knew it was going to be so good. And this movie really, really delivered on it.
Were you pleased with the characters?
Absolutely.
And the actors, actresses?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I would have casted anyone differently. Cynthia Erivo was amazing as Elphaba. What a voice.
Yes.
I can't even... just fantastic.
Her and Ariana Grande both put their own twist on the songs, which was... I got chills.
Yeah. No, they both... I mean... Ariana Grande is just a voice herself.
Yes.
So, like, no surprise.
Very
she
talented.
did an amazing job playing Glinda. She's wanted to be in this role for so long now, and to see her just shine in it was fantastic. I mean, even Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero, like, I didn't know he could sing like that.
Yes.
And I love him. Love him. He may not love me or other women for that matter, but love him. But he really did a stellar job as Fiyero. And I mean, again, I think it was so well casted. I think the music was on point. The scenery was on point. I mean, I won't be surprised if this wins all the awards this year. I really think this is beautiful. The movie of the year.
And there was no budget for this movie. I mean, the tulips, how many tulips?
Oh, yeah.
It was just basically, I mean, sky was the limit.
Yeah. The budget did not exist. That's right. They went for it. It was beautiful.
I think there was something that the director didn't want to use CGI for a lot of things.
I didn't hear that,
So the tulips, they were all... This is what I heard on TikTok. I don't know if it was false news.
When we say we read things, we mean we saw them on TikTok. So we read about this fun fact from the director.
Yes. So apparently all the tulips, I mean, it was a very quick scene, but they were all apparently real, and the set.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
And even Elphaba, she didn't want, she wanted her makeup done every day. So that was...
And I think it was all the better
gorgeous
for it. I mean, she looked great the whole time. She really pulled off the Elphaba look. I mean, again, I couldn't have any other words for this show other than that it was great. Could we talk about the cameo for a second?
Oh, yes.
So, spoiler alert, but if you, again, Wicked's been on for 20 years now, so if you haven't seen it, that's really not our fault. But in the middle of One Short Day in the Emerald City, we get a cameo from Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth.
Yes.
I almost burst out in tears right there. I could not believe that they had gotten the two of them to come on and do a scene for this show. And I really think, I mean, again, they really stuck to the play very well. I can understand why they didn't put the whole play into one movie, because I think they added a lot of good context to the show that if you haven't seen the play and this is your very first time seeing Wicked, it's going to help you understand it more. But like something that they added in there, this cameo that was not, there wasn't anything like that in the original show, I think was just amazing. Really loved the nod to the original cast. And I mean, those two, they really are the stars of it. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have what Wicked is today. So really excited to see them in the movie. That just made my heart swell up when I saw them come onto the screen. Nikki, what did you think of Popular? I know that's your favorite song from the soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ariana Grande did it well. She played that role really well. I mean, Kristen Chenoweth obviously is a queen, but Ariana Grande did very good.
It was great. No notes. We've got no notes.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. Can't wait for part 2. November 2025. We will be right back at the theater watching that. I will bring more themed snacks.
Yes.
Maybe next time we will wear pink and green and get the Wicked merch going. We didn't do that this time around, but we just wanted to be there and enjoy the show. So,
another spoiler, but again, if you know the show, you will understand. But there is a scene which I was laughing to myself a little bit. The Oz Dust Ball. So in this part of the movie, basically Glinda gives Elphaba her black witch hat, and they're going to the ball, and all of a sudden Elphaba makes this grand entrance, gorgeous. She's wearing the hat. I got chills. And everybody's laughing at her. And it just took me back to the 6th grade Halloween dance. So I was very excited because you couldn't go to any dances until you were in the 6th grade. So they had this Halloween dance. Everybody was talking about their costumes, what they're going to wear. I thought everybody was on the same page, like we were going all out. And you know me, I have to go all out. So I wanted to be Dorothy. And my mom helped me. She helped me with my shoes. She made some glitter bows. She put them on, red glitter bow shoes, gorgeous. I had gorgeous dress, my Dorothy dress. She did my hair. It took a while to get prepared for this. I walk in and nobody's in real costumes. These 11-year-old bitches are wearing cat ears and bunny ears to this dance.
Ridiculous.
I immediately run to the bathroom, take out my hair, call my mom, and I'm like, bring me a change of clothes now. I think me now would have been like, fuck it, and own that shit. But back then, you just want to fit in. You want to be like everybody else and look like everybody else. So, yeah.
You want to be popular.
You want to be popular.
That's what it comes down to. That's it. When you're a kid, that feels like the most important thing in the world. And even as you get into being a young adult, that feels like the most important thing in the world. And then, you reach a certain point, again, Elphaba did, so many of us do at a certain point in life where you just don't, you learn to accept things for what they are. And, again, that's the beauty of a show like this, is that theme is so present throughout the whole show, and people can paint you to be whatever they think you are, but stay true to yourself at the end of the day, and that is what's most important. You have to be happy with yourself and not pay attention to what other people want you to be, what they think you are. And that's how you sleep at night.
That's right.
Yeah.
I sleep well at night.
Yeah. That's it. As long as you're happy with yourself, then what else is there in this world that you need to worry about?
That's right.
I say nothing.
So with that to say, I am very excited for part 2.
Yeah.
And let us know if you've seen Wicked, what your thoughts are, what you think of the cast. 10 out of 10 over here.
10 out of 10. Couldn't have said it any better myself.
I'm ready to watch it again.
Me too. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you all again for tuning in with us this week for another episode of Sip and Spill. Make sure to try out our pistachio martini cocktail. If you're sitting down and sipping with us, be sure to leave a comment, subscribe on YouTube. Find us.
Let me address this really fast.
Oh.
I did not know we had any enemies.
Oh.
Somebody left us 1 star, and this person didn't even decide to comment. We just get a 1 star. So, Anna, we have enemies. That's okay.
We have enemies.
We're true to ourselves.
Exactly. It all comes back
We just
to
laugh.
that.
We just laugh over here.
That's it. They can hate us, but we're still going to be here every week.
Yeah.
Sipping and spilling.
Yep.
But that said, please leave us some nice reviews. Some stars would be appreciated.
We would appreciate it.
On Spotify and Apple and YouTube, please.
Cheers to the person that left the 1 star.
Yeah, thank you, because it only motivates us to continue coming here every week and making this show and having a good time. We're having fun. Yep. That's all that matters, is we're having fun. You guys are having fun with us. And if you're not, please keep it to yourself.
But seriously, thank you to everybody. This has been great. I mean, we get texts and calls, and everybody's tuning in, and it's really fun. This is something fun that we enjoy to do. Can't stop, won't stop. Catch us here next week.
That's right. So, if you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like, comment, subscribe. Find us where you get your podcasts. That is Spotify and Apple. We also have video on Spotify now, so be sure to watch us there if you're tuning in. And follow us on social media, Instagram and TikTok. We are at the Sip and Spill Pod. That is the Sip and, like Nikki, Spill Pod on both Instagram and TikTok. Check out our content. We're posting weekly clips and other fun videos and posts and whatnot. So be sure to follow us there for all the latest on us. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers, Anna.
Cheers.